Hi, my name is Mackenzie Holland, and I'm applying for the multi-intensive autism position at Link. Just a couple quick things about me before we get started. This is my fourth year of teaching. I began my teaching career over at Brown International Academy, where I was the lead teacher of the Affective Needs program. At this school, I worked with 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders, all with behavioral disorders. This year, I took on a new role as mild moderate teacher at Martin Luther King Early College. I'm working with 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, specifically in math. I have the opportunity to work with these kiddos inside their general education classroom to provide them with specialized support while they're inside that setting, as well as outside the general education classroom in a small group environment to provide them with a little bit more focused instruction in math. Earlier today, I received the writing samples as well as the rubric to do some data analysis to find where the gaps were for this particular sample group of students. There was a lot of strengths that I did notice with these students in their response to the prompt that they were given. I noticed that there were a lot of strong spellers in this group of students, as well as they all had very good skills in writing an introduction or a topic sentence, to the point where I didn't need to know the prompt in order to know what they were writing about, which is a good quality in a topic sentence. A couple things that I noticed they had gaps in were in the areas of command of evidence, so being able to go back into a passage to use quotes in order to source your evidence and solidify your reasoning. And then the coherence, organization, and their style. So if this were my students and I were to go back and reteach these two particular skills, I would start with teaching them the we do. So I usually teach in the I do, we do, you do format. The students have already learned this skill, and since I'm reteaching it, I would start with the we do, using the prompt and using part of a passage. We would go through and read the passage together, identifying and highlighting parts of the passage that are going to help us respond to the prompt, really getting students to collaborate, and then showing them how I would use a graphic organizer in order to organize my thoughts while I'm writing. One that I typically use with my students, especially when we're doing opinion writing, is the Oreo model. So being able to write their opinion, write their reasoning for that opinion using the evidence, and then the last part is restating their opinion and their conclusion. So I think this would really help them, because that evidence piece of it would be a good place to show them that this is where we put our evidence in order to support our reasoning, in order to support our opinion of the work that we're creating. After we're done with that modeling and the we do portion, I would separate the students into groups, assign each of them a part of the passage to read silently to themselves. And then as they're reading, I would ask them, just like what we did together as a class, highlight the evidence that's going to support our prompt. Come together after a couple minutes as a group, as a table group themselves, and talk about the pieces that they highlighted and the reasons why they thought that those particular parts of the passage would help them in responding to the prompt. They would collaborate together using the graphic organizer that we modeled together how to use, and create a cohesive paragraph that responded correctly to the prompt.